So you thought a lance just wasn't the thing, wasn't as powerful as it could be. Well, let's add a chamber round to it and call it a gun lance. That appears to be the next lance in the series. So let's have a look at that one, shall we? Let's take a look. Let's learn how to use this.
Let's say you can't decide between using a ranged or melee weapon. You want to be well protected, but you also like getting up close and personal. The lance is cool, but you know what would be cooler? If we slapped on a huge-ass gun and bayonet at the top. Well, I'd say that's a weirdly specific set of tastes, but as strange as it is, there is a weapon like that. Welcome to A Crap Guide to Monster Hunter. The gun lance continues the trend of being anime's shit. Instead of putting a tactical knife at the end of a gun barrel, no, the master engineers over in Japan decided to flip the roles and attach a gun to something with a blade instead. To this end, the gun lance is the lance's louder, more obnoxious cousin that they try to avoid eye contact with at family reunions. Believe it or not, most of your heavy-hitting moves involve slashing, not thrusting. Stop being so weird, gun lance. This is why Sword and Shield doesn't visit anymore. Some of the same poking moves are shared here, but instead of a high thrust, pressing the right face button will blast around all up in the monster. What, you thought you could actually take advantage of the gun part and attack at a distance? Hell no, that would actually make sense, and you're playing a game where jellyfish can fly, frogs can explode, and the Sword and Shield is considered bottom tier. There's a whole lot of weird shit that makes no sense. You can fire a number of shells before having to reload depending on what type of shelling your equipped gun lance has. There are other properties to the different types of shells, but honestly nobody cares. Be careful though, because firing it will eat through your sharpness faster than the time between a green light and the car behind you honking impatiently. By firing your shell multiple times, your pole will get really excited before injecting its worm steak, then laying down and having a smoke. But if you're more of a one and done kind of hunter who only cares about finishing as quickly as possible, by pressing both attack buttons while guarding, you can fire up some white-hot explosive goodness all over the monster's face. Most casual players who never really get into Monster Hunter cite how the game is slow and clunky, and based on my detective intuition, I can deduce that they were all using the gun lance. This thing is slow as hell and gives the great sword a run for its money when it comes to attacks that you have to run background checks on, take out to dinner, meet its parents, and listen to its life story before you're not even halfway through its swing. You sacrifice the flexibility of a super block, a reliable counter, and a dash attack for the ability to make low-effort innuendos. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, Rathian, I promise this doesn't usually happen. And now you know how to use the gun lance. You're welcome.
Probably not what I'm going to use. Probably not what I'm going to use. Yeah. Actually, who thought of that? A gun lance? It's very Japanese, isn't it? It's very Japanese. A gun lance? Who puts a gun on a lance? Who puts a gun on any melee weapon? I guess technically a bayonet is, kind of. No. You're putting a lance on a gun.